All right. Well,
We finally made it.
we did it, guys. Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year coming up.
As you can see, we're left in quite a mess. We just not long ago, finished filming the 12th episode of the 12 Podcasts of Christmas. But there's something a little bit more important here, I think.
Yes.
Yeah, just down a hair more.
Yeah.
That's perfect. I don't want, like, I still want some.
Yeah. Just a little bit.
Alex, why don't you tell us what we're here for?
Well, there's a man, a very special man that Brad kind of discovered recently. And to say that it bonded our friendship is an understatement. So we decided to spend a gratuitous amount of money together to put on a show for you. And this is what I'd like to call a little segment of a very Seagal Christmas. We're going to talk to you about Steven Seagal, why he is, who he is, and more importantly, how he is.
I was first put on. I mean, obviously, everyone knows who Steven Seagal is. Everybody.
He's
on planet
the
Earth.
biggest movie star.
Yeah, it's Jesus, Obama, and then Steven Seagal as far as knowing people on the planet.
Yeah.
But I was first kind of turned on to this a little bit in passing from Tom Segura hating Steven Seagal so much. Because as much as we love him, he can be a bit of a jackass. Sorry, Steve. I really, really got fired up about this whole thing because Francois played me a song, and it's called Strut. And if you're watching this, I implore you to go onto YouTube or Spotify and look up Strut by Steven Seagal.
If anything, what we'll do right now, Alex, play just enough of Strut so we don't get hit by copyright robots. Go!
Mr. Steven Seagal.
Girl, would you really run down there?
Me want the body if it make me feel nice. Why?
No want to put on this if it make me nice.
Me want the body, him want the punani.
It is a beautiful reggae song, co-vocalized with what seems like a very talented young lady.
Pay attention. You paying attention? Oliver, you sure?
Yes, sir.
Watch this.
Alex, why don't you, you're the film nut, why don't you give us a little bit of the history that you know of Steven Seagal?
Yeah, I'll dive a little bit into it because Steven Seagal, before the madness, he was an action star. So basically, he had like a background in martial arts, and he was
Aikido specifically.
Yeah, Aikido specifically. Which, if you know anything about martial arts, you know that Aikido is a very credible, very reliable martial arts. And Steven Seagal is a master of it, black belt. Walks into a fight, and he has the power always in control. People flipping around just from any moment he touches them, boom, they're dead. But he became an action star about in the late 80s and then kind of was going in the 90s. In 92, though, the movie that put him as a big box office draw was Under Siege.
Now, a team of terrorists have taken over.
Wake up the president.
But there's just one thing they didn't count on. The cook.
Are you like some special forces guy or something?
No, I'm just a cook.
Oh my God, we're gonna die.
Which was, if you haven't seen Under Siege, I actually recommend it. It's a fun action movie about U.S. military ship, whatever those big monsters are, about the cook having to go, basically die hard. He has to go and he has to save everybody on the ship and make sure that Tommy Lee Jones, who plays the villain, doesn't take it over for terrorist reasons.
Keep the faith, Stranix.
And stuff. And Gary Busey's also in it as well. So it's actually a pretty fun movie. It's one of those movies that when I saw at a young age, there's a scene where a birthday cake gets rolled out and then a woman pops out of the birthday cake and has a strip dance. And I was like, I very much enjoy
And that's what I remember. I haven't watched it for many years. That is also a scene that stuck with me. And then obviously when Steven Seagal just keeps letting everybody know that he's just a cook.
Yeah, I'm just a cook.
I'm just a cook.
I'm just a cook. It's like the John McClane kind of thing where it's like, I'm just a guy, I'm just a dude, and it's like, I'm just a cook. I can't do anything, and he has this amazing knife fight sequence at the end with Tommy Lee Jones. It's like a standout for me.
So essentially what happened was he started off in the mediocre career, had a boom,
Yeah.
and then woke up one morning and said, I am the guy from the action movies.
Yeah. I think actually what even happened before that is he was taking martial arts and somebody, this is off before Hollywood, said, you are the best person in the world. And I think he just rode with it into Hollywood, which is fitting because that is Hollywood. That's the narcissistic element.
Well, because essentially you've got two types of people. You have Jason Statham,
Stratham, is that
Jason Statham?
Statham,
Yeah.
is it? It's
Yeah.
not Stratham, it's Statham.
Yep.
who, from what I understand, has a clause in his contract where he can't lose fights.
Yeah, that's a lot of action stars.
And
Arnold Schwarzenegger has
Steven
something
Seagal
like that.
doesn't need that because he can't lose fights.
No, he literally can't.
Oh, who's a tough guy?
Even if it's in the script,
Yeah.
not possible.
Yeah, no, he is somebody who is he's immune to losing.
It would be easier to have filmed Avatar on location
Yes.
than for to script in Steven Seagal losing a fight. In Machete, when he loses a fight,
Yeah.
he's like, I'm gonna kill me.
That's probably one of my favorite Steven Seagal moments. Is just like the fact that like his career kind of went away for a little bit, but then Robert Rodriguez brings him back from Machete, and it's such a great ending because it's like he's sitting there, he's put on a hefty amount of weight, but remember, it's for leverage.
Yeah, he uses that
yeah.
because he's using his body weight
Yeah.
to control everybody else.
Exactly.
Some people commented saying I didn't look ripped, that I was fat, and they called me Steven Saboom Boom. And so I put another picture on the internet, and I thought people would be stoked on me, but they said I looked like a fat turd, and they said I wasn't buff.
So he has to put the weight on before they can take advantage of such a thing. But there's a great scene in Machete at the end in which he gets stabbed by Machete and he's like, this isn't going to end me, but I'm going to decide to kill myself. And it's like one of these amazing moments where it's like, and it's like honorable, he like takes it and like kills himself. He's like, oh, and it's just like
he seppukus himself
Yeah.
with a machete.
it's literally like the kind of thing where it's like, did Steven Seagal get like a credit on that? Like, because it feels like it was written specifically for him, you know? Because it's just like,
I don't think it was written. I think they were like, Steven, you have to die. And he's
yeah.
like, that's not possible. But what I can do for you guys.
Can I laugh in your face?
that's
I
what
can
I
kill
mean.
myself.
He's like sitting there, he's like, well, I understand that they need to win, but I feel like there's a better way for me to go out in this movie. What if I win the fight, but I kill myself in an honorable state? It's like, yeah, you got it, buddy.
Perfect.
That works for me as long as you're dead at the end.
So since these more blockbuster films, well, I mean, there was not very many of them somewhere in the middle of his career.
Yeah.
He now just does straight to Redbox,
The
straight
crap.
to internet.
Total shit. But it's actually really funny because then we can bring up kind of we can dive a little bit into this with the whole red box of his career going into like the red box scene with all of these movies that are like here's Bruce Willis, here's Steven Seagal, but they look like they're made for $5. They're made from the producer of the Expendables movies. He did the Expendables, took all the money from it, and then he financed this empire of shit. And basically, when Expendables 2 was coming out and Jean-Claude Van Damme was put into the villain, a lot of people were like, where's Steven Seagal? When's Seagal coming in? And this brings us into this very interesting topic of the rivalry between Seagal and Van Damme, which if you ask them, doesn't exist, but apparently there's footage of it existing, which what we were with our team of researchers, we were able to break down that apparently what happened is there was a Malibu party that they both went to sometime in the 90s, I'm assuming. And there was some back and forth kind of dialect that led to a slap, not a punch. It was like a slap. And then that was kind of the end of it.
Avec Steven Seagal dans sa villa à Miami.
Non, pas engueuler. Il y a une petite poussette alors pour pas. Parce qu'il y avait une.
Do I think Jean-Claude's a tough guy in martial arts? No.
Well, it's interesting because I'm not honestly, probably I wouldn't consider myself a big Jean-Claude Van Damme fan either. Like, I think he's kind of a fucking goofball.
Yeah, he's a goofball.
These guys are all fucking goofballs.
Yeah.
But what I will say is Jean-Claude Van Damme either declines to talk about Steven Seagal or just says things very neutral, very passively.
See Steven Seagal in part 3. He should lose some weight. So no, joke on the side.
Yeah.
So he can be a little more fast.
He's put on the pounds.
Yeah. I met the guy a few times. He's a nice guy. Doesn't like me much. I like him a lot. Good guy. Good charisma. He's got something special on the screen. I would love to see him there. Yeah.
Why doesn't he like you?
Can I laugh in your face? Really?
Whereas Steven Seagal says, yeah, I don't think Van Damme's not a real.
Yeah, he's not. He's not a tough guy.
Martial,
he's not.
Like, one of these guys is like, we watched that interview. The guy's like, who do you think is like an actual tough guy in Hollywood? And he's like, looking at him like, this is the stupidest question ever.
Yeah.
And then he's like, well, who would you say? Without saying you, obviously.
Yeah.
And Steven's like, well, you kind of fucking handcuffed me there.
Yeah.
If I can't say me,
then
who the hell am I going to talk about?
Yeah.
Can you think of one?
He's like, well, there are none. Like, there are no tough people.
It's such an interesting interview because when you watch it, you can tell just from the look of Seagal, he wants the interviewer, now that he can't say that it's him, he wants the interviewer to say him. And it's like, and he won't. He'll be like, oh, is it Statham? Is it? But good martial artist, but it's like Van Damme. He's like,
definitely not.
Definitely not Van Damme.
No.
So there's definitely
he's got more respect for Rob Van Dam from the WWE than he does for Jean-Claude Van Damme.
There's also that one. Did you hear about this story? I think we watched it, but it's like there was his stunt double. I can't remember what movie it was, but his stunt double was getting mad at him because he was like, I do my own stunts and everything like that. You don't need to, be here and everything. And the stunt double was like, oh yeah. And he's like, yeah. So he puts him in like a choke lock. And
he shit
his pants.
Steven Seagal said on the set of one of his films that because of his Aikido training, it was impossible for him to be knocked unconscious. He said it was literally impossible for him to be knocked unconscious in any way. And the guy's like, well, can I put you in a chokehold and we'll try it? And then within seconds, Steven Seagal was unconscious and then he fucking voided his bowels in front of everybody.
I get him in a headlock there. I get him in the rear naked. And he takes this hand, the free hand, and then you just karate chops me right in, the old sisters. And, and then I guess he got tired after doing that and he just fell asleep. And I guess maybe he forgot to go to the bathroom. So he went to the bathroom then.
Oh, that's hilarious.
Like, this has been corroborated by multiple people on set, including cast and crew, who are all like, yes, he fucking shit himself. And then he was chirping this fucking stunt coordinator later, the stunt double. And then that was also Ronda Rousey's stunt double for one of the films she was in. And then she said, if Steven Seagal doesn't shut up, I'll make him shit himself again.
Yeah, that's right.
So he had told her the story about how he had made Steven Seagal defecate.
And then there's another funny story on a movie from the early 2000s called Exit Wounds, that if anybody remembers it. You might remember the poster, which I'll put the poster up here, but I doubt you'll remember the actual movie because you probably didn't see it because it flopped horribly. But there's a wonderful story with Tom Arnold.
On a houseboat lake up in Toronto, and the director said, well, let's practice. Let's rehearse this scene one time. It's kind of complicated. And Steve goes like, I don't rehearse, man. Let's just shoot it. Let's shoot this. Oh, he goes, okay. So anyways, he starts and Steven goes like, well, I will tell you one thing. And he starts to get up. He goes, I'm going to kick all your asses. And he starts walking out towards what he thinks is a door, but it's not the right door. It's the door that goes into the ocean. And he takes a step and he drops into the ocean, just out of frame. So I looked down and I was like, holy buddy. But, that was fun. That was great.
That's
amazing. A great moment.
You can see he was dyeing his hair, so he had like black marks kind of streaming down and everything.
Well, he doesn't dye his hair. What the hell are you talking about? He doesn't dye his hair and beard. He jet black into his 60s. He's got to be in his 60s.
It's like he's 60 something.
Yeah.
Maybe 70 now. But yeah, that's like one of the funniest stories. But the one thing that's really interesting is like you hear it from Van Damme, you hear it from Tom Arnold, you hear it from all these people, maybe besides the girl. But it's like they all tell these ridiculous stories of him being almost like buffoonishly silly and so egotistical. But then they're like, but he's a very nice guy. He's a nice guy. I don't mean to make fun of him. He's a nice guy. So it's like, why do that? Why add that little like protection at the end of it? Like, are they truly afraid of Steven Seagal? Does he have clout that makes him fearful? Or is it that they just don't want a phone call from him being like,
I just like,
why you gotta do that?
Like, as a complete sociopath and a narcissist and a megalomaniac, I understand where he's coming from with like this confidence that borderlines on the insane.
Yeah.
At the same time, like he just like lives in a world of facts where none of this truths or facts, they just complete ignorance. Just like, maybe ignorance is real bliss. Maybe this is honestly the best way to live your life. He just like, I can imagine him on the set and he's like, no, go ahead and try and choke me out. It's impossible. And then seconds later, he voids his bowels. And I mean, with his physique, he's obviously got a very strong diet. We're talking 2 or 3, 4,000 calories a day.
60 fucking feet of shit coming out of that anus.
And then they're like, you just fucking shit yourself, and he knocked you out. And he's like, nope.
It never happened.
Absolutely not. It did not happen. No fucking way.
Yeah, how does one psyche end up like recovering from that other than just like, you know, repressing? Like it didn't happen.
And then also like Anderson Silva gets like the special guest trainer Steven Seagal during one of his fights earlier, like in the middle of his career.
Oh yeah.
And he has this amazing event where he fucking front kicks this guy in the head and knocks him out cold. And then Steven Seagal's like, I fucking taught him that kick. And they're like, that's awesome. Where did you learn that kick? He's like, fuck, I learned that in Japan 30 or 40 years ago. Yeah. It's like, Steven, you're 50. Like, you didn't learn that
how did you
40 fucking years ago.
It's a front kick for fuck's
He's just like, he could have just been like, we worked on it in camp, which is probably also a lie. Yeah. Also, the kick had nothing to do with Steven Seagal.
No.
He was a guest joke trainer. Definitely did not help Anderson Silva.
He created it in his brain, like to give him some sort of like
he took a lie and then made it even more absurd.
Yeah.
30 or 40 years ago, I learned that kick. It's like, this is the most lethal kick from the most elite athletes in the world in a modern era of fighting that is beyond any other era of fighting. Steven Seagal's like, in the late 70s, I learned that shit. Like, that's a joke. I'm so above and beyond. Go right now and watch a video of Steven Seagal doing modern Aikido. These guys are 20 or 30-year-old black belts, and he just manhandles them.
It's like,
and it's clearly choreographed. It doesn't matter. He's so powerful.
It's the greatest choreographed fight scene to ever not be in one of his movies. Like, it's amazing. It's one of the most amazing things. I've never seen somebody just casually walk into an arena to fight somebody looking like he just woke up out of bed.
They sprinted him.
Yeah.
And it's like they hit a fucking wall that's fighting back because he doesn't move at all, and they tumble carelessly to the side.
It's like there's like, it's like he's using the Force or something like that. He's Neo, walked into the Matrix.
More impressive.
Bending reality.
You've been living in a dream world, Neo.
More impressive than when
it's insane.
Stormtroopers are flung using a Force.
It's more impressive than bullet time. It's just like, because it's real. Like, it's insanity. So it's like, it blows your mind, just kind of like the, I don't know, like the lack of, it's like the lack of care of lie. It's like, it doesn't matter. There is no repercussions to the lie. I will just run with it. It doesn't matter. I'll just continue going with it. And now he's in Russia training troops.
Yeah, like Russia has hired him
to train their military.
He and another guy who loves to lie to himself.
Yeah,
Vladimir Putin are best friends.
But my theory on that is that was some sort of like Russian manipulation tactic, like, but also like kind of like stupid, where it's like, we're gonna bring in Steven Seagal.
Well, they're like,
an
let's
American
bring in famous
icon.
American celebrity,
Steven Seagal.
And they're like, no, he's not a celebrity there.
Even
anymore.
when he had, like we were saying in the 90s, he had his career, right? But it's like, even the career was short-lived because it was diminishing results after Under Siege, to the point where it was like, Under Siege, oh shit, this one didn't work, let's do Under Siege 2. That was a difficult thing to even do to begin with. And then he was difficult to work with. And then the still a financial hit, but it definitely was like not as good as the first, and it wasn't as successful as the first. So they didn't make a third. And then it's like consistently kind of making the basic action movies as he goes through it. And then when you get to that Exit Wounds movie from 2001 or whatever, it hasn't even been a decade. It hasn't even been a decade, or it's just barely been a decade. And he's already on the ropes, and he's flopped tremendously with a movie. You know, he directed his own movie. I think it was like Hard to Kill or something like that was the movie, and that sucked. So it's like he tried all the, you know, it's like, it's kind of interesting because in Hollywood it's like he did everything correctly as far as like what an action star is supposed to do. You have your martial arts training, you're going and being in the action vehicles. So it's like, how come he didn't take off as much as somebody like a Jason Statham? And it comes down to the fact that like you hear stories that working with Jason Statham is really great. You hear he's super passionate. He produces his stuff as well as invests in it, as well as going and reaching out to other things. He does comedies, he does certain children's stuff. He goes and he's like a public figure. So Steven Seagal doesn't really do that. But then it's like,
I would say he doesn't really do that. Yeah, that's accurate.
But then all of a sudden, it's like after his film career's kind of taken this nosedive, he starts finding other outlets to try and promote himself. So it's like he starts doing his martial arts more again, and he starts making commercials of products such as the.
So yeah, tell us wonderful. Why we're here.
This is the real reason why we're here today. Is Steven Seagal had this wonderful idea to capitalize off of the energy drink craze. So he made his own energy drink called Lightning Bolt that was made like 20 years ago or something like that. I think the one we have dates at 04.
One is from 04. I think the other one's from 08. I think that it was only around about 5 years.
Yeah, it wasn't around for long. They only had 2 flavors, which was the Cherry Charge and the Asian Experience. Now, unfortunately, Asian Experience had an instant coming here and it blew up, but I have footage of us opening it and smelling the unfortunate reality of what the Asian Experience is. We had issues.
Oh, it fucking stinks. Smell this.
All right, let's see. Oh, fuck. Oh. It looks like urine.
Oh, Steven.
Whoo! That does smell like shit.
I don't think I will do. So unfortunately, the flavor we were most excited to try, which was Asian Experience, which I
can't.
Boy,
even
if you're trying to name a flavor based on the description of the taste, you fucked up. But it's an amazing name.
It's probably. I was so excited for it. I was
it's
just
insensitive.
Like,
it's racist.
It's the only energy drink to contain Tibetan goji berries and Asian cordyceps, and it hits the spot every time.
I don't know how.
Yeah, I think it froze. I think like what happened is it punctured, like there was a like it like got a hole in it, and then like because it was seeping out, it just froze it shut. Because the moment you closed it off, the moment we washed it off, it just like exploded. We shouldn't have fucking done anything to it. Damn. But that was
second can is sealed.
It is sealed,
and I believe it is the older of the two.
Yeah, it is. That's the one that says the expiration date is 04. The expiration date on this one apparently is like.
Yeah, that expired in 2004.
Yeah.
So it very much was canned when you were how old?
What, in 2004? I would have been, if I was born in 1994, I would have been like, oh my God.
Yeah, 10.
Yeah.
So you were 10 years old when it expired.
And just for the record, I'm 29. Like so.
Yeah. So that's 19 years old. It actually will be celebrating its 20th. It won't see its 20th birthday in that can. Because today we're going to crack it, and based on the smell, we're going to
try this shit out. So,
Alex, you went out of your way to source and purchase cans.
I guess so
why don't you crack it?
Okay.
Pour 2 small glasses of Cherry Charge, and if it doesn't smell like it's going to kill me, so this product has Asian cordyceps, which is mushrooms. Oh God.
Even opening this felt bad.
I mean, people eat MREs, like military rations from World War II.
Yeah.
Don't put too much in there. And okay, what the fuck does it smell like? Anyway, it has Asian cordyceps, which is mushrooms, and it also has Goji berries?
Got like a hint of berry. Doesn't smell terrible. At least I don't think it does. It smells like.
Oh, it smells like kind of rancid. You also sat and ate the jelly bean.
That's true. I have a stronger stomach, so.
I usually do too. I don't know what's happened to me. Maybe I've grown weak.
It's
being in
definitely
the presence of such an alpha male.
It's got this weird thing where it smells like berries, but then it's got like a hint of something.
It definitely doesn't smell like cherry or charge.
No. Well, I'm gonna go for it and just kind of figure this out.
I don't know.
Andrew, why don't you give me the floor here? We'll get a reaction of this. So.
Don't drink too much, please.
Ooh. Oh, it's got like this kind of. It's got like this nasty going down.
No, don't drink the whole fucking thing.
I think if you take. Ew, it's like sour.
I will take a small sip.
What the hell?
Oh, it just doesn't fucking smell good. Andrew, come smell this.
Oh.
Don't pour more and drink more.
For the rest of the conversation. Oh. It smells like rotten fruit. It smells like rotten cherries.
Yeah, it does, eh? Oh God.
Cherries have gone moldy.
Yeah. There's something about the smell. It's just.
Oh, it does have a fucking vile fucking taste.
Yeah.
You're right. After.
Steven.
Now we can both swim in Steven Seagal's lightning bolt pool.
It definitely makes you gag after you've had some.
Oh, yeah.
Don't drink anymore, please. Alex, please don't. If you get... I can't even fucking... I would fucking puke.
Oh God.
That is a 19-year... I don't like...
Steven.
I don't even know if energy drinks were very much in their infancy in 2004.
Fuck, Brad, I'm telling you right now, the only thing that's going to be under siege is my toilet after this.
Yeah, I am telling you right now. I don't know if L.A. Beast... Well, he would definitely drink it, but he would not just do it without thinking about it.
It tastes like actual garbage. That's the best comparison. Fuck. Oh, is that it does taste like just you forgot about cherries. And then you're like, what would make a nice yogurt sundae? Like,
now, in defense of Steven Seagal, and I will always defend this man, that is not necessarily what cherry charge tastes like. But God damn it, if that's what it tasted like fresh, you had a bad gut.
It's okay. The biggest thing is like, I really do wonder what the Asian experience...
It makes me so sick thinking that you just drank 2 glasses. I was really...
What's the price to finish that glass?
None, zero. I won't. No, I'm not jeopardizing my trip to Mexico. Getting fucking sick.
I just came off of a horrible illness, and I'm just like, when can I get back in bed?
Yeah.
Like, you know.
Don't drink more. Okay. Monster energy drinks have a shelf life of 18 to 24 months after the manufacturer date and can be consumed for 6 to 9 months after their expiry date if stored properly. So we're only, if you give yourself the max 9 months from 2004, you're really only 18 years and 3 months out.
Okay.
So like, that's a lot better than 19 years.
So we're good. It definitely sits in your belly like a fucking... I don't know. It's like not supposed to sit there.
If you die, I'm going to have to stew Steven Seagal, and that's going to suck.
I won't die. If anything, I'll just puke, which is like, that's as is life, I guess.
That's 2 cans worth of weapons grade laxatives you've got there, brother. Save them if you ever need to turn yourself into a shit tornado.
Well, I think I just got called on my future.
So.
Fucking Christ. Oh, Steven.
Not gonna lie, you're gonna turn into an anal plasma torch.
This feels like it's directed to me. Fuck off. I put on my best
Why did you
holiday
drink
sweater.
that? Do you need to blow out the sun?
That's like the movie he made. What was it called? Like After the Sun or Fight the Sun?
Coconut is very subtle, says this guy.
Coconut.
I guess.
Whoa. Woo.
Oh,
It's
you're
okay.
gonna
It's
be
just
sick.
digestion tract trying to get rid of 18 years worth of expiration vitamins and energy and cherry and like if this is the Asian if Asian experience is anything like this, and I have to say that Asian people, you can do better. Like this is pain.
Oh, cherry.
you can.
Does your stomach hurt?
No, it's just gassy. If there's like if I could describe it, it's like feeling like I don't know. It's almost like feeling like someone just blew a bunch of air into me and I have to like just pop.
It's good to be the king, isn't it? And guess what? This could happen to you if you drank lightning bolt.
Yeah, it's like there's probably going to be like an explosion of yeah. It's gonna
Well,
pop
we won't
anus.
keep this on for much longer. I just, if you're interested in the insanity of Steven Seagal's life,
yeah,
buy yourself a cutout. This
By
actually
yourself,
stands up.
Hollywood cutout selling this stands up. It's life size. It's a pretty penny at $140, but it's absolutely worth it in every way. Especially if somebody as legendary and prestigious as Steven Seagal, you're gonna want to drop. Yeah, you're gonna want to drop some serious dough on it.
This is actually supposed to be his height.
Yeah, that's Steven Seagal's height. He's a tall son of a bitch. So like, yeah, like when he wants to stand, he stands tall. So
Come on, lazy old fuck.
he's got this.
Oh, there's a cord underneath him.
Oh, that's why level. There we go. So once
In
again,
closing.
he has the high ground. So Steven, you're a beautiful, beautiful man. We spend money on you. We'll always spend money on you. I don't get you as a human. I can't. I don't think it's possible. If you were
Like, I don't feel very
I feel like
good.
there could
I
be
had the smallest little
yeah,
step.
it's like I feel like there could be an episode of the X-Files on him. And it would just be accurate. Like, just what are you? I want to believe that he is not of this earth. So,
In closing, check him out. Everybody enjoy your Christmas. I know Steven Seagal will.
yeah.
He's always there to protect. He's actually also a police officer, which is true.
That's true. He is an actual police officer. So imagine that. Just imagine that right in the middle there, arresting you. It would be insane. But if that ever happened, make sure you take out your cans of Asian Experience and Cherry Charge and raise a toast to your ever-loving Sheriff Steven Seagal.
Thank you, Alex. And thank you to Mr.ozProductions for hosting us on today's episode.
Yeah, thank you, Prehistoric Productions, for allowing the madness. And thank you, as always, for the 10th anniversary of your guys' 12 podcasts. And this is kind of like about a 1 year mark of Mr. Oz Production doing stuff. So,
Well, congratulations. We look forward to seeing more
yeah,
in the future. And maybe we'll find some more Steven Seagal memorabilia and do this again.
we'll have to do a spotlight on Under Siege.
Yes. Okay, good night.
We're done. Bye.
God, how sick are you going to get?
Well, it just feels awful. It's just like an uncomfortable sensation.
Oh, I'm so worried.
When the girls start to strut, you can look at their butt.